A bunch to get into. The Badgers win on senior night. One of the best moments of the season, watching Greg Gard and his son Isaac hit that late three. But we got to wonder about what happened with Nolan Winter. Could this be a win that ends up really costly for the Badgers? Coming up more with Mike Behind the Mic on Wisconsin. Let's go.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is going on, Badger fans? Welcome to Locked On Badgers live from Birmingham, Alabama. We got Mike Behind the Mic if you haven't seen him before. He's going to jump on today. Don't let that mean that you don't get to do comments though, Mike. You still got to stay on top of your day job. A ton to get into. Today's episode brought to you by GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. I want to start here, Mike. I think one of the coolest moments of the season, we're going to get into Nolan Winter. We're going to get into Nick Boyd and this game and what it means. But seeing Isaac Gard, I'm a dad. I got two kids. I got two boys. And just seeing the moment where Isaac Gard hits the three, comes off, hugs his dad, Greg's in borderline tears, the crowd's going nuts. As a dad, that's one of the coolest moments I've seen all year. I loved it. I thought it was tremendous. I was so happy for them. And by the way, he hits the three on a deep pump fake, unbelievable moment, man. And I just loved it for everything. It's everything sports should be about. It's everything dads and sons should be about. It was a tremendous moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just kind of showed that for the Gard family, basketball is a family business, right? So, and I mean, it's senior night. They're dominating Maryland in the Kohl Center. The place erupted after he hit that three. And like you said, it's contested well behind the arc, right in front of the bench, right in front of his dad. And then it walks off, gets the hug. Greg Gard's in tears. Isaac even gives a little pump to the crowd as he's walking off the floor. I mean, that's sports kind of all wrapped up into one moment right there. So it was wonderful to watch that.
And how many times has Greg been rebounding for Isaac? How many times have they just shot around? It's just unbelievable. I love the moment. And the first time down the court, they actually ran kind of a stagger action for him. They were trying to get him a shot. I just love that moment. And honestly, this would be maybe my favorite game of the year, outside of the Michigan game and the Michigan State game and the Illinois game. If it wasn't for the Nolan Winter injury, I loved everything about Boyd getting the ovation coming off, Braden Carrington getting the ovation, Gard hitting that shot. It was
really got a standing O coming off. I mean,
it was just tremendous. Let's do game balls. Let's start there. Who's your game ball today?
Yeah, so my game ball is going to Isaac Gard, 4 years playing at UW. 4 Gard, hit that shot right in front of his dad. I mean, the whole team was in on that. So the set you just talked about when he first came on, the whole team was in on that set. Nobody was sitting on the bench. Assistant coaches, the starters, they were all up. And of course he rimmed it, but whatever. He comes back and gets the next one. So game ball's going to Isaac Gard. He deserves it. He's been grinding on that practice squad for 4 years. So give him his moment, and there's your game ball. But
yeah, those guys are important for the team too. The culture, the people on the bench, those are the people that are in there every day in practice and every film study and every lift, in every shoot around. If you're surrounded by people who have bad attitudes and are bad culture guys, it hurts. So having guys on the bench, Greppy's another one, Robeson, guys who don't play a lot but are good culture guys, Kinzinger's another one. Greg Gard builds a good culture. He generally gets teams full of good kids. And his as well, apparently. Obviously Isaac as well. So it was just a tremendous moment. My game ball is going to Braden Carrington, who continues to hit YOLO shots. It's unbelievable, man. He coming off the last game where he shot 15 threes, he hit 9 of them. I texted to my buddy. I'm like, who is this guy coming off the bench taking 15 threes? And today, the thing is, people know, if you play enough hoops or anything you do in life, if you do enough of it, you get in routines and habits, right? People know he takes deep shots, but they're so deep that people are still hesitant to contest him because there's no way this dude is going to shoot this. He's been unbelievable, man. What did he get today? 6 threes, 6 of 10, 4 of 8. Sorry, 6 of 10 from the field.
4 of 8 from 3. Yeah,
unbelievable this year for Braden Carrington as a shooter. I mean, he's developed into one of the best shooters in the Big Ten, and as a guy who was brought in from the portal as kind of a late, we think he can help us a little bit addition. he's become one of the best 3-and-D players in the Big Ten. Just a tremendous player, tremendous season. Awesome to see him get that standing O. Braden Carrington just continues to do Braden Carrington things, Mike.
Yeah, he's shooting from well behind the arc to the point where defenses aren't even considering him a threat at that range. So I think that'll change here moving into postseason play. We'll see. I know the scouting reports get a little tight. How would you say, a little tighter look over going into tournament play. And plus you're playing the, top 64 teams, right? So we'll see if they start challenging him out further beyond that arc there. But yeah, I mean, total 18 points, 24 minutes, 2 of 2 from the line, 2 rebounds. Braden Carrington can't beat those numbers. Still coming off the bench, which I didn't see the start of the game. Did he come off? He came off the bench, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, you still got that fire coming off the bench, which don't want to get into this just yet. He might be moving at this point, so who knows? I guess you're gonna have to put Rapp. I don't know, Bialuskas. We'll talk about that, I guess, a little bit later when you want to. But also Rapp, by the way, let's see, Rapp's 11 points on 17 minutes. Good contribution there. I saw him hit like 2 threes in a row or something like that, kind of to start pulling away. So Rapp had a good game put together there. Kins with a couple nice assists down inside the paint. Kind of snuck some balls in there. So just a couple of things I'm spitting off the top of my head. But Blackwell, 14 points on 27 minutes. Not a bad showing.
I liked how he started. Yeah, I liked how JB started. Started aggressive, got in the paint a couple times, hit a 3 in transition, hit a little fadeaway baseline turnaround shot, which we've been begging for mid-range stuff. Like, he's so good, man. Blackwell is so good. And when he's aggressive getting in the paint, I think it opens up everything in his game, but everyone else's game. I thought he played well. I love your point on Kins. I think, and I've said it from the jump, whether or not he ended up getting much time this year, which obviously he didn't, I think he has a feel for the game. You can see it. He has a really nice ability to get in the paint and pass. He had a steal, had a layup. I think he's going to play for you next year. I thought Garlock had a couple moments, a couple big rebounds, had a block, tried to stuff one at the end. I liked how he played. Just overall, I think just about everybody played pretty well. And boy, to me, it kind of just felt like he let the game come to him and everyone else. He didn't force anything, which I thought was nice too. It was a great game all around. To your point, we're gonna talk about the elephant in the room. That's gonna be the next segment. But I think there's so much good to celebrate about tonight with Guard, with the standing ovations for several players. That let's stay there. Bit of a slow start, but after that, the game was fully in control. Anybody else you wanted to talk about today? Because I got one more I'm going to throw out there.
Let me take a look. Rhodey putting up 28 minutes. I mean, the depth chart here, he emptied the bench at a point in time there. But Will Hanna with the comment, Garlock blocking the shot. How many blocks did we have today? Winter had a few. Garlock had one. I think there's a couple more. But
yep.
Now we'll go into what was your honorable mention there at the end?
Yeah, it's more of a team thing. And I want to point out with the caveat, Maryland's really bad. No hyperbole. Right. That is a rough team. And my goodness, how far that program has fallen from what Maryland traditionally has been. But I thought the defense, so it's more of a team thing. I thought the defense played really well today. They were a lot of loose balls they got to. They kept people in front of them. They contested shots. Again, it's easier when you're playing a Maryland team that they just aren't very good. I mean, they are some of their own worst enemies, but I thought the defense played hard nonetheless. So the Badgers went on a run. I think the defense keyed that. So I want to give credit there. They definitely locked in at about 5 minutes left in the first half. And from that point on, Maryland just couldn't get anything going. So I thought the defense played well, and we hit a lot of the players. We got to take a second, and then we got to talk about Nolan Winter. We got to talk about what could be, in my opinion, essentially a knockout blow for this team if it's not good. We're going to talk about the next on Locked On Badgers. Thoughts on Nolan Winter? Was he in the game too long? What happens if he's out? Can they replace him internally? A lot to get into. Plus your comments coming up next on Locked On Badgers. First, a quick second for our friends of the show. A quick second to say thank you for tuning in to Locked On Badgers. I'm Ryan, and we got Mike behind the mic here.
I'm Clea Butler, host of Locked On Women's Basketball, and this is Mazda's Women's Basketball Snapshot, celebrating the work no highlight reel can ever capture. Number 1 ranked UConn dominated St. John's 85-49 on Sunday at Madison Square Garden, extending its winning streak to 47 games. The Huskies capped a perfect 31-0 regular season, including 20-0 in the Big East. UConn is winning by nearly 38 points per game, the third largest average margin in Division I history. Since 1999 to 2000, UConn has 9 undefeated regular seasons, as many as all other programs combined, and has turned 6 of those into national championships. These moments are earned off the clock, those long before the lights ever come on. The sweat, the fakes, the doubt, the scrapes, and coming back for more every time. Mazda puts that same drive into every detail. Wins define the moment, putting in the work, that defines you. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you.
Mike, let's talk Nolan Winter, who goes down at a point when the game was basically decided. I think they were up about 25-30 at that point, maybe 7 minutes left. And somebody in the chat, let me know the exact details. Like, it's a little hard. I'm watching in the hotel on a laptop, so goes down on a really athletic move where he was trying to get an offensive rebound and a tip. And there's a part of me that just is yelling at him for, why are you doing that in this moment? There's a part of me that's yelling at Greg Gard for, why is he there? There's a part of me that's just yelling at the basketball gods for, how dare you on senior night do that to us? When he went down, dude, the Kohl Center got silent. I got silent. Initial thoughts when you saw him go down, up 27 with 7 minutes to go.
Yeah, Scott Krantz, thanks for hashing that out for us. So up 27 points, 7 minutes to go. Look, okay, so the injury is obviously devastating, okay? I think I told you, obviously, his first appearance on the show other than the prize show you do every year, but there's a trio on this team, Blackwell, Boyd, and Winter, that's probably – arguably, I think you could pair them against any 3 in the country, and they would hold their own, or maybe be the best trio in the country, or close to. So when Winter goes down with that ankle injury, does he need to go get that basketball? Well, you want him to do the hustle plays. Like we just ended the last segment on defense. That's all hustle and effort, and you want to carry that stuff into the postseason, right? So I don't necessarily have a problem with going for a rebound. Twisting the ankle like that's part of that's just bad luck. The coaching decision, right? So he had started to rotate those starting players out, and I just don't know if he just didn't get to Winter yet. Bottom line is, if he doesn't get hurt, we never even bring this up. Like, we're not talking on this show. If he doesn't get hurt on that play, we're not talking on the show about, did he leave him in too long, or none of that's even in the conversation. So I just think it's just bad freaking luck. That's kind of my opinion with it. Now, without him, this team is going to be in trouble. The guy spaces the floor. He's a 7-footer that can shoot the 3. He's gonna, there's going to be a dedicated defender assigned to him. And now that's all, out the window. Now they've only got Purdue left in the Big Ten tournament, so I don't think we'll see him in any of that action. But well, I'll leave it there and let you pick it up. But what are your thoughts on it?
No, I think that's well said, man. I think I'm mostly with you. As soon as it happened, I got a deluge of people saying he shouldn't be in there. That was kind of my initial thoughts too. I also just think sometimes in sports things happen. I think if you wanted to make the argument, and I have before said I think Gard leaves guys in too long. So this isn't like a creature of the moment type thing. I do think at times he leaves his starters in too long and games are decided, but 7 minutes is a long time in basketball. You can go really quickly on a 12-0 run, and suddenly you're looking up, and it's maybe 5 minutes left, and you're up 14. Like, I think it's fair to say 7 minutes is that's not the point. You're taking all your starters out. Sometimes just bad luck happens in sports, and you're totally right. For every bit of me that was like, Nolan, why are you doing that moment? I'm never gonna knock somebody for hustle. I'm never gonna knock somebody for playing hard, because we knock people all the time for the opposite and the inverse of that. So. It happens sometimes in sports. Somebody mentioned Brian Butch in the comments. We remember that one. It just stinks, man. And it took the wind out of the sail. Yep. Because we were looking at the dates, and you did a really good job before the show of bringing up, if it's a grade 1 spraying, it's about 2 weeks, right? 2-week recovery period. It's both.
I can run through it if you want. But.
Yeah, if you don't mind, run through timelines here of what a grade 1, grade 2 look like, and I don't even think we need to go past that because
we're gonna manufacture news here. We do not know.
Yes, please, thank
what
you.
Nolan Winter's injury is. Okay, so just to clarify that. So just a quick search on ankle injuries. So a mild or grade 1 sprain involves small ligament tears with minimal instability, 1 to 2 weeks for recovery there. A moderate grade 2 sprain, 3 to 6 weeks. Now, we kind of looked at the schedule. We got Purdue coming up on the 7th and then the Big Ten tournament after that. But depending on seeding and what region we're in, we could start playing the NCAA tournament on the 17th?
Yeah, 17th or 18th. Yep.
Yeah, so 17th or 18th. So that's 13 days away for the 17th. It's 14 days away for the 18th. That's going to be, if it's a mild sprain, I think it's going to be tight to get him back in there. You're not going to see him the rest of the season. I don't think you're going to see him in the Big Ten tournament. I would be surprised, to be honest with you. But that's kind of what the injuries look like as far as what the internet says a recovery time is. But
yeah, I would say best case to me. I think best case you're hoping to get him back for March. Again, even if he were able to come back, why in the world would you play him in the Big Ten tournament? Even if you could get him back at a slightly 80-90% version of Winter, you absolutely don't want to do that. So I think best case you're hoping you get him for March, and there's a very real chance you may not. Again, we're all speculating. We have no idea. We're not going to try to – the last thing we're going to try to do is predict what the actual injury is, but those are kind of rough timelines of what it could look like. And here's the thing. If he is out, worst case, if he is out, I don't think this team has a chance of making a run in March. And I'm not trying to be defeatist. And that could be me being in this moment and just really being frustrated by it, but he is such a big part of this team of what they do, and he gives them something nobody else on the roster can. So you just got to hope, man. You just got to hope. Put him in, I've said it before, put him in Vader's back to tank. Just let him heal for like a couple weeks. Maybe, dude, you need him. In the interim, let's talk about what you do in the interim. Like, let's say certainly Greg Gard, if he is hurt for a period, certainly Greg Gard's not going to say the season's over. The team's not going to say the season's over. What's your starting lineup? If you do need to play for a while without him, certainly we don't think he'll be here for Purdue at the minimum. Who are you starting?
Yeah, so I mean, this, look, you got to wake up tomorrow and you got to go to work, okay? And whoever's on the roster is on the roster. Next man up, let's go, okay? You're expected to play and compete. So let's see, who we got? We obviously know Boyd Blackwell starting. Rhodey's been in the starting lineup. So who can we go from there? Rapp's a big man, but Bieluskas big man, although he's got, bricks for hands. Garlock's big man. I think you're going with Rapp.
Okay. I think that's the obvious lineup, but the only other one I was playing around in my head is, do you maybe start Garlock and just see how
option?
I don't think now maybe there's certain lineups, right? Maybe there's certain teams you're going against that are smaller and you can really play small. You put Beals at the 5, you want Rapp coming off the bench, and then you're able to play with some combination of Rhodey and Carrington at the 3 and 4. But you can only do that against teams that aren't very big. I wouldn't hate the idea of starting Garlock and just seeing, and then you still have Rapp coming off the bench and you can bring him in early. No matter what, you're going to have to play Garlock more. He's going to need to play a little bit.
Garlock minutes are going up. You're going to have to do some sort of, maybe even like a 3-headed monster between Garlock, Rapp, Beals.
And listen,
like
realist
says
rotation. Garlock isn't near ready. Ben says, stop it. Garlock's bad. Guys, who else do you have? You're not playing.
Who else are going to put out there? You got to put somebody out there that's close to 7 feet tall.
This is why this injury hurts so much. You're not playing Bieluskas and Rapp 40 minutes each. You can't do that. Like, you have to play someone else that has size. Who else is it? I mean, Patrick says Garlock can't play. AB and Rapp each have to play 35 minutes. That still means you have to get 10 minutes from somebody.
Somebody's going to have to come off.
Shaden says Garlock's 3 years away. I'm telling you guys, please tell me in the comments who you're playing at the 4 and 5 when Beals and Rapp aren't out there.
Let me clarify that. Garlock is 3 days away. Mm-hmm. Okay, Purdue's on March 7th. That's just good. Like that's happening, regardless of whether he wants it or not.
Yeah, I mean, we have somebody that says put Kins in at center. Sure. I mean, listen,
Sure, why not?
Shaven says go small. I don't hate the idea. I don't hate the idea of going small and then just then playing a ton of Beals and Rap. But you're not going to be able to go small against certain lineups. You're just not going to be able to do it against certain teams, guys. They're going to destroy you on the glass. So that's why this injury hurts so much. The bad injuries, Mike, there's not an answer for them. That's why they're bad injuries.
Yeah, it's look, you don't you know, if you could engineer a 7-footer that shoots the three like Winter does and it's just an efficiency machine, a walking double-double, you would, but there's a reason why we don't have 3 of them on the roster because they're just not, you know, there's not a plethora of them laying around, you know. So what I'm hoping for is that, you know, I'm just going to write off Purdue in the Big Ten tournament, and I'm hoping Nolan Winter is game ready come the 17th or 18th when NCAA tournament kicks off. That's what I'm hoping for. I think you're going to see him in a boot until then. That, you know, and hopefully he's back.
Yeah.
I don't see any other way to mess with it. The rest of it, you gotta patch up as best you can. You know, you're not like guard in the team and like they're not going to write off any of these games. They're still going out there to compete to win. I just don't see a lot of hope there without a Winter in the lineup for 35 minutes a game. Or, I mean, I remember some games he's 39 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, I don't disagree. I think there's a good point from Zach here. He said, got to go small against most teams. BC rebounds well. BC, 100%.
Yeah.
It gives you more on the glass. I think it's a really good point. There's still going to be teams that are going to throw a 7-footer and a 6'10" guy and a 6'7" guy out there. It's going to be hard, but I mean, I hear it. It's a good point by Zach. All right, we're going to take a quick second here. We're going to get back your starred comments. We have a couple of our friends of the show to get into, but we'll finish up with your starred comments. Where are you at? Big picture with the Badgers, all that more. Coming up on Locked On Badgers. First, a quick second for our friends of the show. Quick second to say thank you for tuning in to Locked On Badgers. Today's episode brought to you by our good friends over at TurboTax. It's tax time, but for a lot of us, the old way of doing taxes is a lot. Trying to book an appointment that's not the most convenient, sitting in a waiting room with stacks of papers, emailing back and forth and kind of wondering if they really get your situation. But this year, you're getting a major upgrade. Intuit TurboTax has in-person locations nationwide where you can meet face-to-face with a real tax expert and your documents get uploaded straight to your TurboTax app on the spot. And just like that, you're done. TurboTax Expert works to get you every dollar you deserve. Wow, you are getting real-time notifications as you go about your day. It's a relief walking in a meeting and seeing a real person and walking out knowing your taxes are being handled correctly. Head to TurboTax.com/local, find a store near you, and book your appointment today. Today's episode also brought to you by our great friends over at GameTime. It's the biggest stretch of basketball season coming up. It's March Madness, and I can't wait for it. I can't wait to see the games, get to the games, be with the crowd, be with your fans, the environment, and all those great things. But what I don't want to deal with is getting the tickets. Tickets can be the most stressful part of the game time experience or of the sporting experience. And Game Time takes all of that off your plate, right? Real-time pricing, no hidden fees, panoramic views of the seats. You know exactly how close you are to that pretzel guy, to the exit, to the bathrooms, to the beer spot. Game Time has you covered. It's a place I've used to get tickets. They email to your phone. It's absolutely awesome. Take the guesswork out of buying college basketball tickets today with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms to apply. Again, create the account, redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download Game Time today. All right, let's get into this, man. A bittersweet episode. And the first thing I thought when this happened is it's like a Pyrrhic victory, right? Where it's named after King, Pyrrhus, who won a battle, but the victory was so costly that he said, well, if I have any more victories like this, it's going to be the end of my empire. And that's what it felt like. It just feels like a win with so much cost to it. Once again, L Mills, this is a comment. Mike, I'll let you continue on this. A lot of people are really frustrated with Winter being in the game there. The one devil's advocate comment I'd have, because we both have kind of said it's early in the game to take people out and injuries happen. The one caveat I would say is Winter has been nursing the ankles a little bit. He's nicked it a couple times. maybe you make the argument if you're starting to rotate your guys out, you start with Winter, you start with your 5 that you don't have much depth for that's had some ankle injuries. Any validity to that, or am I kind of reaching for stuff here?
No, I look, I don't think you're reaching for anything. These are all valid things, but hindsight's always 20/20. So like now that it's all happened, we can be like, well, why is Winter going for a rebound? Well, nobody's ever coached a kid to not go for a rebound. Like Guard's done this for years. He's won hundreds of basketball games. He knows how to do this. Now, of course, now that bad things have happened, we all look back and go, well, we should have done this different. And I agree, we can learn from it. Up 27, 7 minutes to go. We can sit here now as, Monday morning quarterbacks and say, obviously you should have pulled him out. But he didn't. So what are you going to do now? Now the kid's hurt. Look, he's gone up and done that play and got that rebound and came down on that foot 800 times this year.
Yep.
The player was kind of weird underneath him. His shoe caught the floor, got hung up. Hopefully it's not as bad as what we might think it is based on how much pain he was in or what it looked like he was in. But, I don't know how much we can go back and second guess this. Like, again, if he's not hurt and he comes out a minute later, it's a standing ovation for the Cole Center, and Greg Gard's a genius.
Yeah, I think it's well said. I'll point out ankle injuries are pretty painful. Sometimes, many times they look worse than they are. Hopefully that's the case here. You come down on it, it can really hurt. I'll say this, and I'll wrap up here on the Greg Gard Winter discussion. Coaches have been bit a lot by the rattlesnake. And what I mean by that is there's probably a game in Greg Gard's career where he was up by a lot with 7 minutes left and the other team came back when he pulled somebody out. Like, coaches have long memories for that stuff, and it happens. You can go on quick runs in basketball. 7 minutes is a lot of time. So I've, in my head, moved on from the fact. I just think it is what it is.
I have one quick thing. So it was a comment in here. I started. We were off by a couple days, and I just double-checked this. So 17th and 18th are the playing games, and the first round is the 19th, 20th. So it'll be 15 or 16 days before we're in the NCAA tournament. So buys you an extra couple days. So thanks for that, Brian. Appreciate you clearing that up for us and getting us squared away over here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Brian. Steve Davis talking about, again, being frustrated with Gard maybe a little bit, putting the starters back in. I just really quickly point out, you put the starters back in so you can get the ovation coming off, which is important. Like, you want Nick Boyd to get the recognition. You want Brody and Carrington to get those moments where they can come up by themselves and the whole crowd is cheering for them. Because I want to go to this comment next, man, where it's just from Ty Thomas. Thank you, seniors. What? Yes. Like, what an incredible season by Nick Boyd, right? By Braden Carrington. And certainly by you mentioned it, 4 years Gard has been on this team. What an incredible job by all those guys. Thank you, seniors. It was awesome. So I was really stoked to see them get the recognition as they should have. Easton Park says getting a little weepy for the Isaac 3. It was just phenomenal. It was just phenomenal.
Yeah. You can't make that stuff up. You can't engineer that. They tried to with the double screen and all that stuff, but that's just one of those wholesome, wonderful sports moments that kind of separates sports as a societal wonderful thing, right? So,
it's going to be like, so Luke Fickell's sons are walking onto the football team, right? And in their senior year, when Wisconsin's back on top of the Big Ten football-wise, it'd be like his son coming out and making a big tackle at the end of a blowout game. It'll just be awesome. Like, that would be an awesome moment for him too. Like, I'm all about dads and sons, dads and kids, parents and daughters, whatever it is, like having those moments with your children. I think it's just phenomenal.
Like, I got 3 sons. I get worked up over flag football stuff, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a big deal for families.
Dude, anyway, it's awesome. No, I was just going to throw this comment up from Patrick. He said, chalking up to a freak accident, nothing you can do to avoid it. I think that's it. Honestly, it's a freak accident. Sports happen. I wish it didn't, but sports happen. Dude, I missed this. And maybe, did you see this? R. Smith said Boyd finished with his right hand.
I saw the comment. I didn't see the right. I didn't see that. Hey, I'm with you. think it happened. I remember him driving on the right side when he got fouled, but he still went up with the left. Like he was in air. I don't remember him actually finishing with, but I did miss the first couple minutes, so maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to chalk it up to I'm watching on my little laptop in a hotel while I'm trying to get the show ready. If it happened at the end, I will go back on Synergy and watch every Boyd layup from the game to see it, because that will be worth me seeing it. It will be incredible.
And at this point, he's got to get it in the scouting report, man. He's like, it's got to get on paper somewhere.
Scott says, "Good morning from Nairobi, Kenya." What's up, Scott?
Yeah,
I guess it would be morning there, right? I don't know what that time zone difference is, but I'm pretty sure it's substantial.
It's 6-7 hours.
Okay. Yeah, Scott, let us know in the comments what are you doing in Nairobi, Kenya. I think that's awesome. No, good morning, brother. Thanks for tuning in. Carolyn says, "Hi, Mike." We got a lot of Mike comments here.
Yeah, there we go. Mitch there. Thomas, thank you.
Okay, let me put this one up here. Let's
Normally Ryan banishes me to the back room. I got a broom closet downstairs that I watch comments from.
Mike is always welcome. He's always welcome to pull the chair. Let's just talk about this again. We hit on this. Realist says if winter is over the season, or if winter's out, the season is cooked. Is there a scenario where, again, worst case, and we don't know, maybe winter's back, maybe this is far less than we think it may be, and he's back for the Big Ten tournament. We don't know. If he is out, is there any way this team can rally, can shoot enough threes? The power of Boyd and Blackwell and Carrington can push them into the Sweet 16, into the round of 32. Obviously, draws matter, seeding matters, but any optimism at all from you?
Okay, let me retrieve this a little bit. No. No, I'm kidding. All right. So, okay, let's take an honest look at this. If they are shooting 45% from three without Nolan Winter, okay, and they're shooting 40 times, right? There's a path there, just based off the three ball. And we've said it for the entire season, or you have. I mean, I haven't been on here, but the team lives and dies by the three, right? So if the three ball is draining and they're putting 40 to 45 of those up, shooting to the 45% clip, they can still beat anybody. Now, the defensive end of the floor gets a little concerning, although Nolan Winter's not really a rim protector anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that doesn't change a whole lot. Carrington's getting hot at the right time. He's coming off the bench scoring 20. Blackwell has got it in him to put 20 plus up. Boyd's averaging 20 or 19, whatever. Rapp can shoot. He's starting to heat up. Rhodey can find a three when he needs one. Worst case, we double screen for Isaac Guard. There we go. That's right, Stephen. Can you believe it? Look, can they Sweet 16 guys? Matchups matter.
Mm-hmm.
We find a BYU in round 2. Like, no, we're done. But it can be done. It's unlikely.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, weird things happen in sports, right? Like upsets happen for a reason. That's why they're called upsets. They exist. This team can absolutely get really hot. I don't know if we've seen the best recently of Boyd and Blackwell in the same game. If you were to get the very best of Boyd and Blackwell in the same game, they can combine for 50. I mean, you can easily. They did that against Michigan. You got 49 from them against Michigan, I think.
Yes.
That's off the top of my head.
So them two for 50, BC for another 20. That's 70.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it can happen. The issue is less scoring and shooting, though. The issue is more Nolan Winter's been your most consistent rebounder. He's been your anchor in the middle of a defense that, quite frankly, isn't that good anyway. And he's been one of the kind of stabilizing pieces in there to keep you from just getting overwhelmed at the rim. Those are the things you can't replace. This team, yeah. Let me, as we talk through this, you can replace the shooting, right? Because I think Beals and Rapp and Carrington and Rhodey could get hot theoretically. He shot well last year. It's those other things that you're just not able to replace. That's the problem.
So you can moneyball the shooting, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the spacing. Can you get the spacing without having Nolan Winter on the floor? Can you get the rebounds without having Nolan Winter on the floor? Can you get the leadership on the floor that he provides, which I'm sure there's a bunch of unspoken stuff that we don't see on TV that he's doing. And he's initiating a bunch of those screens at the top of the key as well. So I guess you can manufacture that to a certain extent.
It's a bummer, right? Like there's so many good moments from this game. The ovations and senior night and guard and Carrington. It's just such a downer. It's such a downer. It's Brett, great friend of the show, Brett Roll says if you're going to be a 6 or 7, you're not beating three seeds or 2 seeds without Nolan. I mean, I think generally that is correct.
Yeah, I think we'd have a rough go with Nolan on those. What if they relied less on the 3, drew fouls, this type of strategy over?
I don't think a Tiger changes its stripes this far into the season.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, this team is kind of who they are. In fact, I think they'll lean more on the 3s without Winter. Although Winter was a perimeter guy too, but I think they'll even more just lean on. We are going to jack up 20 to 33s minimum, probably more like 30 to 40. And to your point, to Will Hanna's point, to Tyler Strieber's point, if they hit 45% of them, if they hit 40% of them, great. The problem is those 3s get harder to hit when teams don't have to worry about Nolan Winter rolling into the paint. So they can press up on their perimeter defense more, and they make those shots more contested.
So now Nolan's off the floor, so now you're sending that guy to guard Braden Carrington further from the basket, right?
Yeah, there's just less gravity rolling to the rim because Nolan, although they don't roll as much as other teams. They are pretty good at it when they do it. Teams have to respect it. Nobody else on this team rim runs or rolls like Nolan Winter. Garlock's not quite there. Beals isn't as athletic. Rapp is more of a pick and pop guy, although he's been going into the paint more. It's just an element of the offense they can't replace, which is why Nolan Winter's special. Like you can't. It is what it is. Like we kind of loop back to where the problem is. He's not someone you can replace internally on this team.
No, you can't. I don't. It's unlikely for them to make a run without Nolan Winter. I don't really know any way around that. Off top, I'm not much of a basketball guy, but I don't see it. I guess Boyd has got the play. Boyd might be able to carry you. He's got Final Four experience. If I remember, where was he at? San Diego? No. Where was he at?
San Diego State, yep.
San Diego State. And that nobody thought that team had a chance.
Well, his first Final Four team was Florida Gulf Coast. It was that Florida Gulf Coast team, I think. Or I'm trying to remember the.
Okay. Well, so he's been there, so he kind of knows how to get there, right? So hopefully you draw the right card. You end up in the right region. And you kind of make a run, but we're going to know more tomorrow. I'm sure you'll be doing a show in the next couple of days on exactly what that injury is. So
I'm not going to. If it's bad news, I'm not. Doggone it.
Ignore it till it goes away.
Good or bad, I'll be here every day. And humbled to do it. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's much more fun to do happy shows than talking about your star center potentially being hurt. L Mills with a good point here. Only 3 turnovers tonight. Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. I don't even think they had
that's it.
In the first half. Right? Like, did they even have one in the first half? I don't think so.
I don't believe they did. They had, all 3 were in the second half. And one of them was Carrington's pass to almost the full length of the court that just didn't connect.
Thank you, Dan and Brett. A couple people. Florida Atlantic, not Florida Gulf Coast, for Nick Boyd's Final Four run when he was the point guard. So appreciate people dropping that in there. And you're right. It
can happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're definitely
right. It's not 0%, but.
All right, let's wrap it there. Again, it's a weird game. A lot of just amazing moments highlighted by the guard one, which I think is still incredible. And then just waiting on Winter, right? And again, I think you and I both said our piece on that. I don't put that on guard. I don't put it on Winter. It's just
life happens. You know what I mean? That's how it goes.
Yep. It's like 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife. All right, on Wisconsin, senior day, they do wrap up a pretty easy win. Guard hit a big shot, which was awesome in front of his dad, which I still think is like one of the coolest moments of the season. We will wait on Winter. As soon as we get news on that, we'll jump on and talk about it. Hopefully it's not as bad as we think. And then we're rolling into March with some momentum. on Wisconsin. That is Mike behind the mic joining us, which is phenomenal. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into this. I think we have Nick Osen coming up tomorrow. So Nick Osen's phenomenal, as everybody knows. So if you have comments or thoughts or questions for Nick or myself, I think we're going to do a live show tomorrow night, again, from Birmingham. And then Friday, I think I potentially have a special guest on Friday. Next week, I think we have Liam Danitz, his college coach, jumping on from Hope College, and a recruiting analyst as well, I think, next week. So we got some fun stuff coming up. On Wisconsin, go check out the Everydayer Club if you get a second. The link is in the show notes. Ad-free episodes of Locked On Badgers. And hope everyone has an incredible night. Make sure you say thank you to Mike on the way out the door, and we will definitely talk to you guys later.